What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a Total War Warhammer 2 1 versus 1 quick battle for you. And I am bringing the Tomb Kings and we are facing off against the Empire. And so I know you guys have been seeing a lot of different Tomb Kings builds where they have a ton of constructs. So I wanted to bring something a little different. And also I thought that would kind of throw my opponent off too. So right off the bat, we'll see here in the air, you see we've got two groups of carrion. And these carrion, I figured if you brought any, high cannons, mortars, stuff like that, these guys, although they don't have the best combat stats, they'll get in there and with their, they'll do some good damage against units that have low defense. Also on my army, here in the front, you'll see we've just got some skeleton spearmen, couple groups just up there in the front, and that allows my numbers to be up a little bit higher and allows me to actually get to these Realm of Souls pretty early. Besides that, we've got a couple groups of Ushabti Great Bows, and so that is the different here. We've went with kind of an Ushabti build. We've got 3 Ushabti Great Bows here. One of them is the Regiment of Renown, chosen of the gods, with that shield breaker and that splitting attack. You've also got one group of regular Ushabti here. You see them in front with those big scimitars. And we've got Arkin the Black, of course. He's pretty much the most competitive Tomb King's Lord at this point because of, the fact that he does have this Liber Mortis with a physical resistance, 44%. That's just so big. And also that Tomb Blade of Arkin. I wouldn't be surprised if the Tomb Blade of Arkin gets like a 2 limit or something. I mean, it is so strong. So we've also got the Fate of Buna. We've got Doom and Darkness here to reduce some leadership. And he's also got that Guardian buff. So because we've also got the Tomb Prince here behind him on foot, who actually I love because he has that anti-large also. So he does have that huge anti-large bonus, 25. So he pretty much is hitting every time if he's attacking a big guy. And that Blade of Set type as well, that negative 30 armor. That's like a big debuff that you can put on enemy lords. Here in the back is our main meat of our army. We've got these 4 Tomb Guard, and that's what's going to get in there and do some damage. So we've got like I said, a way different army than typical, and I think it's thrown off my opponent because you see here on the right side he does have 2 groups of Outriders. Since they got buffed with that armor, they actually are really strong for the Empire. So I mean, he's got 2 groups of Outriders on each side. So on the other side here, he's got 2 more groups, but those are actually Outriders with grenade launchers. So if you take a look here, you can see those huge grenade launchers they've got there, and those things will rip me apart. They don't have armor piercing, but they'll be able to tear apart that front line pretty quickly. Here in the back, you'll see he's also got 2 groups of Knights of the Blazing Sun. That's that flaming shot cavalry with those flaming attacks. And just huge 78 charge bonus. So whenever I'm healing, or against my lords and stuff like that have extra damage to fire, those Knights of the Flaming Blazing Sun will get right in there with those flaming attacks. Here in his front line, you see he's got a couple groups of swordsmen. He's also got 2 groups of Demigryph Knights with halberds. So he's really in it for taking out. You can tell his whole goal was to take out a construct army. I mean, he's probably faced 1 million construct armies. He's got a couple groups of Free Company militia. He's got these swordsmen in the front to kind of hold units off of them. And I mean, this is just ready to go. He's ready to take out some constructs. He's got Balthazar Gelt up here with the Lore of Metal. Again, it's Golden Hounds. He's got a ton of spells, but it doesn't look like he's got all of them. So he does have he did pick and choose. So he's got Balthazar Gelt up there flying around, and that should be that should be it. So let's go ahead and see how my army goes against the this pure construct killer army. And we're gonna go ahead and right off the bat, we're just gonna start moving these carrion in. We do not want them to be sitting still while these Outriders take shots because, I mean, you see they're already starting to take them down. At the same time, we are going to start to get our Chosen of the Gods and our Ushabti Great Bows in place, and they're going to get in here and they'll do some pretty good damage against those Outriders there. So you see the Outriders are kind of standing still, and we're getting some good shots on them with those Great Bows. So I'm also going to charge in and get these carrion engaged as soon as possible. You see our front lines here are moving up, and they're getting very close to being engaged in each other. And we are taking some heavy hits into these Tomb Guard from this big shots coming from those grenade launchers. Here in the front, you'll see that our Skeleton Spearmen have engaged. We've also got our Ushabti here charging in, and we've also got this Tomb Prince. So everything here in the front line line is kind of engaged. But over here on the right, we've pretty much taken out everything. We've got the Outriders taken off, and we've actually casting that Fate of Buna there right on top of those Demogryph Knights. We're taking huge amounts of damage. So they're charging in. They're smacking into those Ushabti Great Bows. But we've immediately put up that Liber Mortis to give that physical resistance. And with that first Realm of Souls coming off, we're actually getting heals off. At the same time, these Demogryph Knights are getting charged into here. These Tomb Guard are right into them. This group is already broken off. We've gotten huge damage on those Outriders, and at the same time, we're charging, trying to get away from these Knights of the Blazing Sun who are coming after our Ushabti Great Bows. You can see we're kind of freed up some of these units, the Skeleton Spearmen, the Tomb Guard, and these Knights of the Blazing Sun do not want to fight that huge blob of infantry. Even though the Demogryph Knights are here in the back, they're still engaged. But in infantry, these Chosen of the Gods and Arkan the Black in here, they'll do pretty good against the Demogryph Knights. Those Demogryph Knights, they've got low models, and the big heavy hits from these all of these units back here are pretty much going to cut them down almost immediately. Here in the front line, you can see that these Ushabti have been holding their own. They've actually managed to cut through a bunch of those swordsmen, but Ushabti do not want to be engaged against swordsmen. Neither of these Skeleton Spearmen, you see all of these Free Company Militia are shooting in here. Balthazar Gelt up in the top, just casting Arcane Conduit. He's been popping up spells up there, and I have not been able to get to him because my Ushabti Great Bows have been in the back this whole time. You see that they've finally routed most of these Outriders off to the side. We're kind of trying to get everything back engaged. We've got the Tomb Prince kind of... But, I mean, this battle is all over the place. If you take a look there's some more shots. Those Outriders with grenade launchers are launching right into the back of those Tomb Guard. But at the same time, you see here, they just got nailed there, almost routed off, and now they are broken. Because once these Ushabti Great Bows get firing, they're going to be doing some nasty, nasty damage to those large targets. All of those units are coming back in. Here in the middle, you see those Outriders with grenade launchers are finally taken down, and those Ushabti are still here. And now we've got the Realm of Souls level 3, which is keeping these Ushabti alive. They have been alive for so long there. They've been fighting it out, and they've actually managed to completely shatter these Knights of the Blazing Sun. So now that is actually going to put the balance of power pretty heavily in my favor. And here in the back, you'll see that these Ushabti Great Bows are still firing, and we're actually going to start to try to get some shots off at Balthazar Gelt. And you see him get knocked there, and the Liber Mortis is actually here in the middle because I'm starting to get some good hits here on Arkan the Black. He's pretty much surrounded on his own, and I've got to really get out before he cannot survive too long on his own. You see he's already down like about 10% health, but here in the back we've got these Tomb Guard charging into the Free Company Militia. They'll be able to cut them down quickly. We've also got the Ushabti summon ready, so I think I'm not 100% sure where I summoned them at, but oh, there they are. They're coming in the back here, and they're going to charge in. They're going to start taking out the rest of these Demogryph Knights with halberds. Make sure to keep them off the top of these Arkan the Black. Oh man, get in here. We'll see those Ushabti fight. You see them just chopping, getting bloody in here. Oh man, there's just bits. Free Company Militia flying, Demogryph Knight, just dead bodies everywhere. Those Ushabti are cutting them down. And you see here in the back that we've got a bunch of Tomb Guard charging right into the rear of these Free Company Militia. And those units are broken. All of the, there's a Balthazar Gelt dropping huge spells, but I think it's a little bit too little too late. Here in the back, you'll see that the Knights of Blazing Sun are broken off. The other group was routed. We've still got some Free Company Militia, but there is a lot of healthy Ushabti Great Bows here that are just still firing. You see them still firing into those Outriders. You see here in the main battle, we finally completely shattered the Demogryph Knights with the halberds. I think there may be one or two remaining. These Ushabti Great Bows are actually able to fight pretty well in melee there. We've still got a whole bunch of Tomb Guard. Arkan the Black has still got about half his health, and it is not looking good for the Empire player at this point. You'll see here we get a charge of these Ushabti. See him just swinging, knocking guys flying. They actually, the swordsmen are shaking. They're wavering, but they're not taken down. And actually, with Balthazar Gelt in here, you can see Gelt fighting on his Pegasus against those Ushabti, but he cannot stay engaged for too long. These swordsmen are going to get routed off. You'll see these the group of Free Company militia here are going to be fighting against Tomb Guard, and they're they're shooting those pistols, and they'll actually do pretty good against the Tomb Guard. But we're going to pop up that third and last final Libra Mortis. You'll see Ark and the Blacks just charging back and forth through these swordsmen. It actually breaks them. We've still got some Ushabti Great Bows that are able to fire. Oh, look at that. There's a few more shots from these Outriders with grenade launchers. I think at this point they're just trying to just pick off whatever they can. We got some more Outriders over here, but I mean, you see more and more of the units are starting to shatter, and I think that's going to be it. Overall, it was just a great game. I've just had a ton of fun. It was a blast, and you saw how much his army was built to take out constructs. So it was pretty fun to bring something a little bit different. Bring a lot of those infantry units, and you see he really wasn't prepared to take on that many Tomb Guard. All of these Free Company militia, all of these Outriders, the Outriders with grenade launchers, all those units were not prepared to deal with all the shields. I mean, we had tons of shields. The carrying themselves were not able to do very well, but they were able to tie up some units there on the outer flank. The Chosen of the Gods, the Ushabti Great Bows, these guys were just, definitely just major part of the battle. They weren't able to take them out, even though they kept trying. They kept getting them engaged, and we just kept firing. So there's like more than 100 kills here. A lot of those were against those mobile units. So that was really helpful. This group of Ushabti was in there. They were champions. They stayed alive for so long. It was impressive. I kept, the healing from the Realm of Souls was spread out pretty well, and so I think that's what helped keep him alive for a long time. We had Ark and the Black in there. You saw him charging around on his skeletal steed there. You saw the Tomb Prince. I mean, they did pretty well. We had no trouble. Balthazar Gelt, is what I would have really tried to focus them down, but since he kept him up in the air, that wasn't too bad. Balthazar Gelt was, casting some fat spells, but just not enough. I think had he been engaged a little bit more, that probably would have helped out. I mean, you saw those Demogryph Knights, they got killed pretty easily. They have low numbers. All of his units were pretty spread out. Yeah, you could tell he was just really surprised by the sheer numbers that we had brought. But he still was able to do pretty well. These Demogryph Knights with halberds, you see there, I mean, they were able to get like 50 kills between them. They were charging in. It was really hard. I mean, even though I was able to rout all of his units a bunch of times, he was still able to just kind of recover, get him back in. I mean, 83 kills on this swordsman. These skeleton spearmen had just nothing they could do. I think Balthazar Gelt was probably buffing or debuffing our units or something, because these swordsmen, they were just cutting through units. As well, the Free Company militia, they were able to get some shots off, but I think the shields kind of counteracted them a little bit. Knights of the Blazing Sun, I mean, we got one or two Fated Bunas off. We got one Fated Buna off on one group of Demogryph Knights, and so it was just fun. You see, if you build a one-sided army like this, you kind of can get countered, and it's always fun to go, against the meta, bring something a little different, and a lot of times that'll give you the victory. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I've been taking some breaks lately, playing a lot of different games, so I'm sorry if I haven't been getting up all the great content I'm used to. I should be getting back into swing of things. We'll get some more great online content coming soon. Please subscribe below for more of this type of stuff, for more Arena, Blood Bowl. We've got all sorts of fun coming. Tell your friends. We've got another season coming up soon after this one, and we'll be maybe getting in some tournament play sometime up soon. Thank you guys all so much for watching. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.